Boyd playing the boogeyman.
Jund.
This is the look of a Jund player. Arms crossed.
Yeah. Just ready to interact on every turn.
Just tell me when to lightning bolt him. Tell me when to make him discard right now.
We're going to interact starting right now.
It's an Inquisition of Kozilek. Gindy's hand, 2 Serum Visions, Supreme Verdict, Path to Exile, Snapcaster Mage.
Snapcaster Mage.
Celestial Colonnade, and a Scalding Tarn.
Most likely going to be selecting the Snapcaster Mage out of this hand unless there's a particular hole you're trying to poke in your opponent's hand and there really isn't one to poke in Gindy's hand. Take it to the Snapcaster Mage if you expect the game to go long. This is the type of matchup where the games are likely to go long.
No. Devin Boyd's going to write down the contents of Gindy's hand, then he's going to make his selection with the powerful discard spell. And we'll see what he is happy to take. Snapcaster Mage is what you guessed.
Snapcaster Mage.
That's what he took. Here is a Colonnade. We'll head back over to Devin. You should just be playing Jeskai, just so that you can say that a bunch.
Target my remand.
Verdant Catacombs here for Boyd. He'll pass the turn back over to Gindy. Gindy just going to play a Scalding Tarn, pass the turn back. Boyd's going to sacrifice the Verdant Catacombs, fall down to 19. Search for a Ravening of Shock land here in just a moment. We'll see which one he wants to go with. I'm going to consult the hand a little bit to figure it out. He'll go with a Stomping Ground.
So noteworthy here, Gindy without probably the best card you can have for a matchup like this in Ancestral Vision. I think that probably tilts the matchup into Boyd's favor.
A little bit, probably.
A lot of bolts and helixes that aren't necessarily good here.
Gindy will sacrifice his Scalding Tarn as Boyd's turn was just playing a Verdant Catacombs. Gindy going to get himself a Steam Vents, get all the colors of the Jeskai online. And in a moment, Charles will be taking his 3rd turn of the game. And Gindy will draw. Scalding Tarn's what he's found. He'll start off with a Serum Visions. He'll draw a card to Path to Exile. Scry 2 now. Looks like a Remand in there.
Putting that one on the top.
Yeah, here's a Plains and a Pass. Back to Boyd.
Still fun. I know Remand at the end of the day isn't really that great in Modern because the games are over so fast and people can do really powerful stuff for 1 mana. Remand's not his best, but still has its spots, and I love it.
You like it too much.
I like it. I like the idea of it more than I like the reality of it.
Yeah. Devin Boyd will draw a card for the turn. Looks like he picked up a Tarmogoyf. Here's Inquisition of Kozilek. Well, Gindy has Remand in hand, along with 2 Path to Exiles, a Serum Visions, a Supreme Verdict, and a Scalding Tarn.
So I wonder if Boyd's line here is maybe to start working down these Path to Exiles a little bit and allow his creature lands down the line to be significant, or just his individual threat cards. Looks as what he's doing. I feel like it's either that or you could take the Serum Vision there if you think you can work around the Path to Exiles in the long term. Remand.
Gindy will untap and draw. He's got a Lightning Bolt now. Really now it's just for Gindy. It's about finding a card like Nahiri. Not a lot going on Devin Boyd's side of the battlefield.
Yep. Planeswalker would break this game wide open.
Here's Serum Visions. Well, there's Nahiri. Can't cast it this turn, but he does have the very powerful Planeswalker in the hand now.
With a Bolt and Path in hand, too, he should be able to defend the battlefield for 1 more turn and then get the Planeswalker online.
Scalding Tarn comes down. We head back over to Devin Boyd. He will untap and draw. Tarmogoyf. Good one to target with Path to Exile. Yep. Boyd gets the opportunity to search if he has basics. Uh-oh. Okay, yeah, there are basics here. 2 swamps, 1 forest. I mean, they just could be in hand, but now he's reaching for the deck, so never mind. Gindy also going to shortcut a little bit here and search for his steam vents with his Scalding Tarn. And there's a basic forest there for Devin.
But this is the spot where, you know, Nahiri gets to be very powerful, and part of the reason this deck is now a thing again. Jeskai used to have to sit on its heels and play this very slow, grindy, you know, Restoration Angel style game to take games over. Now you just play Nahiri, protect it for a few turns, smooth out your draw along the way, interact with the battlefield sometimes, and then win the game that way.
Gindy going to plus Nahiri. He's going to consult his graveyard before figuring out what he wants to discard. Hand is pretty good. I guess, yeah, with Nahiri, one of the things about it is we can take a look at the Planeswalker. When you plus it, you don't have to discard.
I mean, this is Red's version of card drawing. Is usually the discard is up front. That's a delineation they've made.
It says you may discard a card if you do draw a card, or you can just plus it and not do that. Maelstrom Paul says, get out of here, Nahiri. To Gindy. Scalding Tarn. He'll play the Tarn. Pass that turn back. Over to Boyd. Neither player doing much of anything as we go to Gindy. He's drawn a 3rd copy of Serum Visions. Not sure if he wants to cast this right now or not, though. Though it appears that he does, so he will. Lightning Bolt the draw. Scry 2. 1 top, 1 bottom. Gindy with no land to play. Let's go back over to Devin Boyd. Blackleaf Cliffs. Pass the turn back. Gindy. Drawing a card. Nahiri again. Let's try it again, shall we?
And I believe only 2 copies of Maelstrom Pulse in the deck list here as answers to Nahiri. Other than attacking, but Gindy's hand is loaded with removal right now.
Lightning Bolt, I believe the draw for Devin Boyd. Did not get a great look at it. He's sliding 3 mana off to the side. Maybe he's got that 2nd pulse. Yep. 2 pulses, take care of 2 Nahiris. Unfortunately for Devin, there are more Nahiris in the deck for Charles.
Yep, he is now out of answers.
A Scavenging Ooze going to come on down here for Devin Boyd. He'll pass the turn back over to Gindy. Gindy will sacrifice that Scalding Tarn, get himself a basic mountain, and shuffle and present here in just a moment. I think we'll see a Lightning Bolt on the Ooze here in just a second.
Yep.
Yep, that's what we do see. Goodbye 2-2, though Devin Boyd would like to see exactly what's in Gindy's graveyard so he can eat something with the Ooze on its way out the door.
Likely a Path to Exile or a Remand would be my guesses.
Gindy will draw. Not sure if he caught that, but he has a
Snapcaster Mage.
that. Yeah, he's got that. He also has
Remand in the graveyard.
and a Cryptic Command in
Yeah,
hand.
all my favorites.
Yeah, Inquisition of Kozilek says hello. Looks like it's trying to open the door for something here.
Well, interesting to see if Gindy considers casting a Cryptic Command on this because Boyd didn't cast the discard spell last turn, so he can be pretty confident this was off the top, and Boyd's just been drawing and saying go a lot. So it's pretty aggressive there to use a Cryptic Command, but I think he feels it's likely Boyd doesn't have a whole lot going on in hand.
Also, what's the best thing that Boyd can have going on in hand that Gindy can't handle?
Right.
Kalidas, sure. That's a
that-
good card, but
Not a big deal with Supreme Verdict, Snapcaster Mage, etc.
yeah.
No big rush to answer this thing.
A mana leak to draw there for Gindy. I'm getting a little bit worse as this game goes. Here is Snapcaster Mage. Going to target Path Exile. Kalidas is out of here. Well, Boyd will search up a basic land, of course. That swamp enters the battlefield tapped from the path. I'm back over to Devin. Raging Ravine. There are worse draws. He'll pass the turn back. To Gindy we go. In for 2 with the Snapcaster Mage. Will it live? Nah. Abrupt Decay is going to take care of that. Colonnade. Kick it over.
In games that go on for a long time, hard to do better than blue cards.
Very true. No Ancestral Visions involved in the equation, but still doing just fine, I'd say. Is the Raging Ravine looking to rumble over? Well, before attacks. This again might be time for a Snapcaster Mage.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Targeting Lightning Bolt.
Ah, beautiful.
For someone who likes burn a lot, you are really taking a lot of enjoyment out of this.
Just someone being grinded down by the blue cards and just text box agnostic 2-for-1 fashion still delights some part of me.
Here's a Terminate.
Menelik. Menelik. Yeah! Sweet.
Manley going to take care of the Terminate, and now there's Verdant Catacombs past the turn back.
This game makes me so happy.
Yeah, here comes old Snappy. You and Sean McLaren are in your happy place right now.
Oh, we might get a Snapcaster Cryptic at some point in this game. Whoa. Gives me the shakes.
Yeah. All we need now is just one Sphinx's Revelation, and we're all set.
Yep.
The days of Jeskai crawling across the finish line.
Although we are getting a little bit of a throwback this game.
Are we?
Yeah, I mean, it's Snapcaster beatdowns. Boyd's on empty or close to it. Seems like Gindy still has a lot of answers left over in hand.
Oh, we're going back over to Devin Boyd now. He'll draw a card. Liliana the Veil.
Yeah. Remand.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Yes. Isn't it, though? Island the draw off the remand.
Try again. Could get hit by a Menelik.
Yep, he's going to wait.
Yep, love it.
Gindy draws a copy of Sulphur Falls. That'll be his land for the turn. Might be thinking about going to the Colonnade. Yep, beat downs. Four Vigilance in the air. 2-1 on the ground. I think we're going to see a Terminate on the Colonnade.
Spell Snare.
High. That'll take care of that. In for 6. Boyd going to fall down to 9. Gindy pulling ahead here. Devin Boyd, we know he's got a Liliana in hand. What's the draw step? A Lightning Bolt, I believe. Perhaps an Abrupt Decay, but here is Liliana. Now here's Abrupt Decay to take care of that. And now Liliana can tick up, which means Gindy's going to have to discard a card. An Island is an easy one to discard, and perhaps we'll see a Colonnade take care of Liliana. Yep.
Yeah, safe to do this now with Boyd empty-handed, knows the coast is clear.
Scalding Tarn, kick it back. Devin will draw. Kalidas, not bad. But I believe Gindy does have a Supreme Verdict still in hand from the opening stages of this game that he's not cast yet. He'll start, however, with a Serum Visions. So that means he'll draw a card, and that's an Island. Now he'll scry 2. See where these cards are going to go.
In theory, Gindy can just say go here, not do anything with the Supreme Verdict, and just hold the Colonnade back on defense.
One top, one bottom. Now here is the verdict.
Possible the fact that Boyd at 9 here tilts Gindy into a position where he just wants to damage race, get the game over with as soon as possible.
Boyd with a Tarmogoyf. Spell Snare will take care of that. Gindy untapping very quickly, and now he's drawing. Picked up a Lightning Helix. Colonnade's going to allow Gindy to come in for 4. Boyd's going to fall down to 5. Gindy will play that Island, pass that turn back. Boyd will just pass. Lightning Helix is going to go upstairs. Boyd going to fall down to 2. Gindy picks up a copy of Nahiri. Going to try to go for the W here with the Colonnade. Terminate will take care of that, so not quite there yet. Can't play the Nahiri now either. Boyd will draw. Just pass the turn back. Gindy will draw. Picked up a Mana Leak. He's got another colonnade, and that is going to do it. Charles Gindy is going to win game number 1 here over Devin Boyd. Jeskai control. I can't say very quickly, but it is up a game over Jund.
The blue card's doing a lot of work there.
Yep.
Serum Vision, Snapcaster Mage, Cryptic Command, just kind of ran Boyd out of cards, and Gindy able to win the game with the leftovers.
We call that a blue card strategy.
That is the blue card strategy.
Yes. To the sideboards we'll go. And it's our first time taking a look at a Jund sideboard this weekend. So how about 1 Thragtusk, 1 Damnation, 2 Fulminator Mage, 3 Kitchen Finks, 2 Ancient Grudge, 1 Shatterstorm, a Painful Truths, 2 Anger of the Gods, an Olivia Voldaren, and I think a card almost certainly coming in, a Duress.
I think the Duress, the Painful Truths, the 2 copies of Fulminator Mage, and the 3. I'm even fine with the 3 copies of Kitchen Finks. I think you can anticipate Gindy bringing in a lot more Wrath of God and type effects. He has a lot of bolts in the deck already, and I think those help Boyd just play more of a grindy attrition game.
On the other side of things here for Gindy, 3 Geist of St. Traft, the Supreme Verdict, a Wrath of God, 2 Relic of Progenitus, an Engineer Explosives, 2 Wear Tear, 2 Negate, a Timely Reinforcement, a Dispel, and the very powerful Stony Silence.
I don't think there's a whole lot to do here. I don't think Geist is great in this matchup, as Boyd has a lot of blockers and Liliana the Veil, but I'm interested in the Supreme Verdict, the Wrath of God, the 2 copies of Relic of Progenitus, and the 1 Engineered Explosives. Boyd's doing a little bit with his graveyard here. I don't mind attacking it some. The 1 Engineered Explosives is a versatile removal spell for a variety of threats that Boyd has, and he's playing enough to the table that I think the Supreme Verdict and the Wrath of God do good work as well.
Well, you see your options there for each player, and we'll be underway here for game number 2 in just a moment, but that starts the games.com weekly sale is almost over, which means you do not have a lot of time left to get 25% all of your moderately played foils.
Running out of time here. Every week, 11 o'clock Eastern Time, Starseed Games posts a new sale, so make sure to check back to the website once a week at least to see what's on sale. For now, 25% off all moderately played foils, and that sale runs out in less than 24 hours, so if you want to get some foils, head over to the website right now while they're still on discount.
We'll have a new sale for you Monday morning at 11 a.m. East Coast time, so be prepared for that. As we get ready here for Devin Boyd and Charles Gindy, again, 10-3 each of these players. They have to go win-win to have a shot to make the elimination rounds and join Ely Cassis in the elimination rounds later this evening. Don't forget, by the way, that she'll get the option to vote on what our quarterfinal matchup will be today. So that's nice.
Yeah, it's been nice in the past.
I've enjoyed it. People voted for me in Richmond.
Yep.
And I got absolutely annihilated.
Yep.
So I'm glad that I could please everyone, as Ted Felicelli destroyed me and everyone else in Richmond in the top 8.
Yep. A very good lesson there. Popularity and quality, 2 different things.
What are you trying to say?
The matches that get selected aren't necessarily the matches that should be selected.
That might be true. But
whatever.
The people get the
You paid your $5. Go ahead and vote.
That's right. You get your exclusive subscribers-only chat. You get to decide the quarterfinals. You get to use custom emoticons and badges. And it's only $4.99 a month. Twitch.tv/SCG Live, which is where you're watching right now. We do appreciate all the support here. And thank you guys for joining the feature match area to watch Devin Boyd and Charlie Gindy. Charles Gindy, directly responsible for my Pro Tour top 8.
How so?
I think I've told this story once before, but the old Kithkin deck that I wanted to play at the Pro Tour the night when we got into Japan. Thursday night, I had to find some people to stay with, so I ended up staying with him, Ben Lundquist, Gadiel Cypher, and a couple other people.
Good squad.
We all jammed into a hotel room because none of us, why would we plan when we're in our early 20s? We'll just figure it out when we get there on a different continent altogether. So, I get there, I've got my Kithkin deck in hand, and I've got my Thistledown Lieges, and I got my Unmakes. Charles Gindy says, I think you should not play those. I think you should play Path to Exile and Glorious Anthem instead.
Okay.
I was hesitant, resilient.
Obstinate.
Yes. And then eventually I came around and I said, you know what? You're better at Magic than me, so I'm going to listen to you, but I want you to know that I'm not sure you're right. Guess what? He was right. And unfortunately, in day 2 of the Pro Tour, I had to play against Charlie for the 3-0 of the second draft pod. And I was able to squeak by him in a pretty close third game. It was a lot of fun. And he said, you better not lose since you just beat me. And I did good by him. I think he finished like in the top 64 with Kithkin, and I finished in the top 8. So pretty memorable weekend. And we went out for dinner Saturday night.
Controversial position there from Charles, instructing you to cut some other card for Path to Exile.
Yeah.
In your mono white beatdown deck.
Yeah.
Good thing he was there.
It really is. Or that would have never happened. I would have had Unmake in my main deck. So, really good in my sideboard, though. Stand by that. Gindy's got a Thoughtseize being cast on him. Geist of St. Traft, a Serum Visions, a Snapcaster Mage, a Lightning Bolt, and a couple of lands. So he's brought the Geist in.
Yeah, was not expecting this again, just for the reasons of Boyd's density of blockers and Liliana the Veil, but Gindy trying to punk him out of the game, get one on the house.
Surprise him a little bit.
Yep.
No surprise now, however. Let's see what thoughts he's going to take here from Devin Boyd as he consults his hand before taking a card from Charles's.
I was expecting Gindy to position himself more as a control deck in the post-board games. If he's brought in Geist of St. Trapp, it's possible he left the Supreme Verdict and the Wrath of God on the board.
This is kind of the disadvantage of not having access to Ancestral Vision. This is the matchup you wanted. There goes Snapcaster Mage, Scalding Tarn the draw. Here's a Hallowed Fountain untapped. Now there's Serum Vision. So Gindy will draw an island. Now he'll scry 2. We'll see how he wants to split these couple of cards. And they're off to the side for now. And they are headed to the bottom. So he did not like either one. We're going to head back over to Devin Boyd now. He'll untap and draw. We'll see what he can find. A Raging Ravine, kick it over. And Gindy will draw a Sulphur Falls. He'll play an Arid Besa and simply pass the turn back. So back to Devin Boyd now. Blackcleave Cliffs. Is it time for Liliana? Yes, it is. We're going to make that Geist of St. Trapp look pretty bad now.
Boyd also picked up a Kitchen Finks, another card that's pretty solid against Geist of St. Trapp.
Yeah, I think once Gindy sees those cards, assuming we make our way to a third again, I'm not sure he's going to want them anymore. Those guys do not look to be well positioned in this matchup any longer. Liliana ticks up. Kitchen Finks the discard. Maybe a little surprising there.
Well, he's lacking double green right now, so it could be a mana consideration.
Steam Vents, the land that Gindy will search for. It's going to enter the battlefield untapped. So maybe we're going to see some sort of burn spell here. Yes, Lightning Bolt going to go after Liliana. Going to bring it down to 1. Gindy will untap and draw. And I suppose when it's only at 1, Geist is in play here.
Yep.
Boyd will draw. Ready to make both players discard. Swamp for Boyd. Gindy will discard a Scalding Tarn. He's going to try to ride this Geist to victory now, or at least get him a pretty good lead on things. There is the Wooded Foothills. Now here's a Fulminator Mage. Pass the turn back.
Love it.
Got to get you. Nahiri the draw. I'm sure Gindy likes that one.
Although a little bit harder for him to protect in this game, as there's a Raging Ravine on the other side.
Here are the attacks. Both are going to go towards the Angel. Damage is going to resolve. Nahiri is going to be able to be cast now, because no surprise there. Fulminator Mage wants to make sure that the Geist dies. So it's got to block and stay there and not be able to sack. So now Boyd is going to sacrifice his Wooded Foothills. He's going to search for land. But you did mention that Raging Ravine is actually here to pressure Nahiri this game, and it wasn't like that previously.
Although pressuring Nahiri down via Raging Ravine takes 3 turns from this spot. And that's a lot of time for Gindy to find a Path to Exile or some other answer card. This also assumes that Boyd even has another land to play.
That is an assumption. Boyd will draw a card. I believe he may have picked up another copy of Raging Ravine. And here's a Tarmogoyf. Ravine will be the land. Pass the turn back. We'll get our Tarmogoyf die out there, see just how large that thing is. Mana Leak and a land in hand here for Charles Gindy.
So 4 usual card types plus Planeswalker. Yep.
Pretty big.
Which means the Ravine plus the Tarmogoyf can check Nahiri even if Nahiri goes up to 8.
Yep. Nahiri up Negate and Mana Leak. Reactive stuff.
Yeah, really bad on this board now.
Boyd immediately sees this play. I'm going to activate the Raging Ravine. I want to take care of your Nahiri, and he's got all the tools to do it. Gindy with Negate, Mana Leak, the draw. Ghost Quarter's okay. He passes the turn back over to Boyd. Boyd will take a draw step now. These games can be swingy, Patrick.
It's weird. Again, he's sort of positioned himself for some mixture of the beatdown role and the control role. And the tools have not quite lined up in an efficient way this game.
Tarmogoyf came across for 5. Gindy's a 10. And now here's Inquisition of Kozilek. I think we're going to see the negate here. Yeah. Pass that turn back. Gindy will draw. Pretty good time for that one.
And now Ghost Quarter up to play defense on the Raging Ravine for 1 turn.
Boys still got ways to take care of this Lightning Bolt, among others. 3 mana. This might be something like a Kolaghan's Command.
Kolaghan's Command would be brutal right now.
Yeah. That's exactly what it is. Kolaghan's Command is going to deal 2 damage over to Nahiri, and we'll see what the other mode's going to be.
Get back the Finks, most likely.
Yeah, the Kitchen Finks, huh? Pretty good. Boyd will draw. He'll play the Finks. Gotta make sure he's got double green for that, which he does. Overgrown Tomb and Raging Ravine with the assist, and now we head back over to Gindy. He's gonna need a good top deck now. Mana Leak and now Spell Snare. Again, reactive spells. So all he can do is pass the turn back over to Boyd. Boyd will draw. Here comes the Fangs. Gindy down to 7. That's a Liliana. Mana Leak will take care of that. Dark Confidant. Spell Snare will take care of that. All right. Gindy's got a shot here. He's got to draw away to take care of that Kitchen Finks. Path to Exile, you have to imagine, is his deck.
Well, the issue is he's still facing down 2 Raging Ravines and only 1 Ghost Quarter.
Taking a look through the graveyard. Perhaps it's your favorite.
Snapcaster me.
Yes.
He may just have to Snapcaster Serum Vision and keep looking for help.
Get a little bit deeper.
I don't know if his graveyard is offering a whole lot here. And at some point, he's got to pull ahead. He can't just tread water forever because of the 2 Raging Ravines.
Well, there's old Snappy. And it's Serum Visions. Gonna leave a white mana available in case he peels a path, which I actually think he just did. Pretty smart play there by Charlie. 1 on top, 1 on bottom. And now he'll pass the turn. Devin Boyd will draw a card. See what Boyd's plan is this turn. Didn't get a great look at the card that he drew, but it looks like he's thinking Ravine.
This is a really sharp play here from Boyd. He knows that he's going to get hit with the Ghost Quarter anyway, no matter which Ravine that he fires up. So he doesn't want to fire up the big one. A big part of this is, assuming that this Ravine gets hit with the Ghost Quarter, then his Ravine that's left over is outside of Lightning Bolt range. If he fires up the big one first, and then it gets destroyed in some fashion, then if he tries to fire up the next Raging Ravine, if Gindy has drawn Lightning Bolt or Lightning Helix, suddenly that lines up, and now we're at parity.
We got a Path to Exile on the Raging Ravine. However, a Slaughter Pact is going to go after the Snapcaster Mage. So all these things are going to resolve. Slaughter Pact resolves on Snapcaster Mage. Path to Exile revolves on the Raging Ravine. And now the Kitchen Fink's going to come across here for 3, I believe. Yes.
And you see Gindy has drawn a Lightning Bolt, and now Boyd has left himself with a 4/4 Ravine. That sequencing was great.
You see Gindy a little frustrated here with that exchange. However, remember, Boyd's got to pay for that Slaughter Pact. Don't want to forget, or he would lose the game. He has not forgotten.
I think Gindy made the little frustrated face there and hoping that Boyd would just speed through the turn.
Does Gindy want to use the lightning bolt here? I think he's almost forced to, because if he goes down under 4, 3 or less, that means lightning bolt is an out for Devin Boyd. Devin Boyd's going to play an Overgrown Tomb tapped. He's going to pass that turn back. Gindy has drawn a land, I believe. Seems as though he's a little frustrated with this turn of events. As we head back over to Devin Boyd, who will draw. I believe he's found a spell, though I'm not sure which one. Here comes Kitchen Finks. Gindy going to fall down to 2. This is a Tarmogoyf. Things just got real hard for Charles Gindy. He'll draw. And that is going to do it. Devin Boyd is going to win game number 2 here over Charles Gindy. Jund, Jeskai Control, two of the more grindier decks in Modern. Not looking to play a short game, a bit of a longer game. They're going to game number 3.
So, so far the telling thing, and I think that's indicative of a matchup like this, the person who's been able to 2-for-1 or align their cards up against the opposing cards more reliably has been the one that was able to pull ahead. Gindy's counter spells and Snapcaster Mages were great answers and pulled him ahead the whole time. That game, his counter spells were a little bit on the awkward side. Boyd pushed ahead with precise discard spells and sort of stranded Gindy with some inefficient removal spells. The paths and the Ghost Core type cards, Boyd had things to do with the mana that he was getting, so those cards were a little bit more punishing for Gindy than they were in the first game when Boyd was flooding out a little bit. So who wins the card advantage battle and who is able to line up their reactive cards the right way, really the key to this kind of matchup.
Well, you do see the sideboards there for both players. Nothing going to be short about this outside of one player having mana issues, and even then we might still have a pretty long game. So I'm not sure about these guys to take traps here for Charlie. Well,
I mean, it's a big swing card. If Boyd does not happen to have Liliana of the Veil and Gindy can keep the rest of the board clear, it's a way for him to win the game very, very short. It does play a little bit awkwardly with his desire to hold up counterspell mana. I don't know how many Supreme Bergs and Wrath of Gods he can leave in the deck if he's on the Geist Saint draft plan. But if he wanted to become more of a tempo deck here and try to take some of the sting out of Boyd's sideboard, assuming that's a lot more late game cards, that's a way to do it. But the combination of Liliana of the Veil and now Kitchen Finks, I think makes it very hard on Geist Saint draft.
Yeah, I think so too. And you mentioned Finks, just the other creatures as well that are just kind of hanging out here. We haven't seen Dark Confidant show up. We saw Kalidas in game number 1. We saw Ooze in game number 1 as well. Again, you're not entirely sure what the makeup of Devin Boyd's deck is after sideboard, but there are some creatures lying around there somewhere. So we'll see if Gindy is left in the Geist or not here for game number 3. Now, what are these players playing for here this weekend as they're right on the cusp of the top 8? Well, we do want to go over the prizes that are available here on the SCG Tour, especially here in Orlando. First place, $5,000, 30 SCG points, and an invite to our Season 3 Invitational. Of course, that's the Atlanta Invitational in December. Second place, $2,000, 25 SCG points, and an invite to that Invitational. Top 4, top 8, so on and so forth. At the very least, you imagine both these players only making the top 16 here this weekend, so $325, 10 SCG points as well. But it's the top 8 where you want to be. It's going to take 2 wins for either one of them to be in contention and join Ely Cassis later on this evening.
And also an opportunity for these players to get themselves into the Season 3 race if they wanted to. I mean, you win this event, you're 30 points. Right now, the top of the Season 3 standings is about 50 points. I think Michael Major's in the top 3 and with 40-some-odd points. So 30 just gets you right in the mix. And there's only so many events going on this season. So you spike this one, you go to, let's say, Indianapolis, you go to Milwaukee after regionals, go to regionals themselves. Opportunity for these players to really come out of nowhere and get themselves in the thick of it in Season 3 if they were able to pick up a top 8 and maybe even a win here.
Well, you mentioned 30 points on the Season 3 leaderboard. It's a pretty healthy race to start.
Yep.
We had the New Jersey Invitational in Richmond 2 weeks ago that Ted Felicelli did win. That's why he's on top of things right now with 51 SCG points. Jadine Klomparens, her second place finish at the Invitational New Jersey, along with a pretty healthy finish in Richmond last weekend. That's got her 50. Michael Majors, who you mentioned, he's in top 8 contention this weekend, playing Scape Shift. He's got 41. If we ended things right now, those players would be joining Liam Lonergan and the others at the Players' Championship. But Shaheen Sarani, Brad Nelson, Benjamin Nikolic, Ross Merriam, the rest of the gang, they're looking to get in here as well. So it's going to be an interesting race. Brad Nelson, he did not have a successful weekend.
He did not.
I know he's playing the Standard Classic right now. Did not make day 2 with Death Shadow aggro. And as you mentioned, all it takes is 30 points. You're passing Brad. You're passing a bunch of people.
You get yourself into the top 8 and top 10 of the standings right now. Does not take a whole lot.
Then the race becomes a lot of fun. We see people in Indy 2 weeks from now. Milwaukee a little bit later this year. Knoxville, too. Always one of the favorite SCG tour
Love
stops.
Knoxville.
Knoxville's pretty great.
Love it. Most of the southern college towns
Pretty great.
get me the right way, yeah.
Both players are going to take a look at their opening hands. Charlie Gindy will be on the play. Apparently a big Deadpool fan. Devin Boyd, not a fan of keeping 7 cards. He's going to go down to 6. 30 points could be pretty important for the SCG Player of the Year race, too. I know Jeff Hoagland's got a pretty good strangle on things, but someone who could use 30 points, Tom Ross.
And a player who's in top 8 contention in this very event.
Yeah, he's playing 8-rack right now, is the boss. Now he's already qualified for the Players' Championship. We'll see Tom again at the end of the year, but he's 20 points behind Jeff right now, and Jeff is not here this weekend. He's off on vacation with the family and the kids. I was a little bit surprised to see him miss this Modern tournament. You know how much Jeff loves Modern, how skilled he is at the format, but, you know, one tournament I'd be excited to watch Jeff 2 weeks from now. Indy.
Week 1.
And what's going to come out of that brewer?
Yeah. I like Jeff taking the vacation, though. It's important.
Oh, you got to step away.
To quote the great Tim Ayton,
Okay.
sometimes it's important to remind the cards who shuffles who.
Joe Lissette also taking the weekend off, reminding the cards who shuffles who. He's hoping that someone from Florida.
It's seriously the greatest Magic quote of all time.
It's very good. it's very good.
It's the best of all time.
Those are. I teamed with Tim at the last Grand Prix, so I got many a Tim Magic quote all weekend long. He's a visionary.
Right. A wordsmith.
Yes.
One of Magic's greatest writers of all time.
Oh, yeah.
Editor at Wizards of the Coast for a long time. Not surprising that many of his expressions have stood the test of time.
Still got his limited shops, too.
Yep.
Believe you me. I think Devin Boyd is going down to 5 now.
One of Ohio's favorite sons.
Ohio's finest.
Yep.
And he's back in Ohio now. Good to be home.
Yes.
Uh-oh, here we go. The Browns are blowing it, Patrick.
Brown out.
The Browns are blowing it, Patrick.
You do this. You do this to yourself.
I do this to myself. People let me know what's happening in the game. I can't tell if they're mocking me or if they're just trying to actually help me by updating me.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a 20-2 lead. That's 20-19. Just slipping away as usual. We are impressive, aren't we?
The land.
We can't
doing it for the land.
We realistically we can't complain that much because well, you know, we just won the NBA championship.
Mm-hmm.
We broke the drought, all that jazz. But come on, this is getting ugly out here. It's getting a little bit painful. That's all I'm
It's
saying.
the most painful 4 months of the year for Cleveland, except for the other 8 months, with which it is tied.
Come on, come on. I'm right here. Come on. Life in the land is great. All right, top card. Devin Boyd, a little scry. All I'm going to say is I need your Giants maybe get a little going here, okay, buddy? Tell Shane Vereen to wake up. A scalding tarn here for Charlie Gindy. He'll reluctantly pass the turn back, I suppose. A black leaf flips here for Boyd. He'll pass the turn back. Yeah, Gindy does have a Serum Visions in hand. Was thinking about maybe casting it on turn 1, but decided he's going to hold off. Now, what's interesting about this, obviously, is, you know, in a game where your opponent mulligans to 5, that's the St. Traff, more likely to be good.
Yes, definitely.
But I don't know if they're in Gindy's deck now. We saw him in game 2 when he was on the draw. Didn't really appear to do very much there. And now once you see Kitchen Finks and the rest of those creatures still in the deck, you say, okay, Geist probably not going to live. Probably board him out, but in this situation, you'd love to have a Geist and just get a freebie.
I'm a little skeptical. It looks like he does have a Geist in his hand. I'm a little skeptical of the card in general. Once you see
Supreme Verdict?
Excuse me. Once you see Kitchen Finks.
Sure. You know, it's the Geist St. Traff Supreme Verdict combo deck.
Yeah.
Aren't you familiar?
Right. Well, you get them both ways. I mean, one of them's got to be good.
Yeah.
Probably not both, but at least one's good. Unless they have Liliana the Veil, and then both are bad.
Both are bad? Yeah.
Whatever.
A little of this, a little of that.
Yeah.
Let's head back over to Devin Boyd.
He's the PT champ, you know?
That's true.
I'm here hanging out with you.
We're just here to call the match. Here's the Geist. Let's see if it's good. Boyd will draw. Yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah, we're done. We're done.
That'll do it right there. Guy's good. In for 6. You have to terminate the Angel. Good use of cards.
Tough way to do it.
Yeah, it is.
Tough way to do it.
Devin going to fall down to 18. Gindy going to play an island, pass the turn back, and now it's called Protect the Geist.
And Boyd doesn't even have the hope of double green for Kitchen Fink, so it's Liliana the Veil or bust.
Does he have that? He's got a Fulminator Mage. That's worth a shot. Not going to work out great. Gindy's got a removal spell here. There's Lightning Bolt. Gindy going to lose his Hallowed Fountain in this exchange. And Charlie going to quickly untap and draw. Play an Island Surf in for 6. Boyd going to fall down to 12. Gindy looks like he's got another Geist in hand, just in case this one gets taken care of. All right, fetch land's not bad. That's a Bloodstained Mire, which can sacrifice and search for a green source of mana. What?
Okay.
All right.
Okay, got a little something there.
Didn't expect to see Anger of the Gods. I can get behind it. Let's see if he's got another answer here. Now, if this guy gets taken care of, we got a real game here.
Boyd has Thragtusk in hand.
Ooh la la. Gindy's deck does not handle that one very well.
Quite good in a heads-up battle against Geist of St. Traft.
Why?
Well, it is larger, and you gain a bunch of life, so it makes just racing with an Angel token much harder. And also, if they can kill your Thragtusk, you get a 3/3 token left over that can still check the Geist of St. Traft.
Ah.
Since you asked.
I did ask.
Those are the reasons.
I did ask. Do we got a 5th land here on the way for Devin Boyd? He would love a 5th land for a Thragtusk. Looks like he found a copy of Dark Confidant. He's tapping 3 mana for something, however. What is this? Oh, the aptly named.
Well, that's rough here because I think Gindy has another burn spell in hand.
It's a Painful Truths. 3 cards on the way. Maelstrom Pulse, Wooded Foothills, Raging Ravine. Devin is going to play Wooded Foothills. Now, Devin does have a copy of Slaughter Pact in hand. I'm curious to see how that's going to play a role in things here.
You can Slaughter Pact the Angel and then be 2 turns off of casting the Thragtusk.
There is the Dark Confidant. Pass that turn back. Gindy will untap very quickly and draw a card. He's drawn Emrakul. Not great right now. Geist is still looking pretty good. There's your Angel token. Here's a Lightning Helix. Gindy feeling pretty confident about things, and he should be. Charles Gindy going to win this match here over Devin Boyd. 2-1. Jeskai Control will take care of Jund. And for Charles Gindy, the Pro Tour Hollywood champion, his top 8 dreams are still alive here in Orlando. One more win. We'll see how the tiebreakers do shake out.